So this week I wanted to talk about a couple things. One of the things I've been thinking about a lot is I know I preach and talk about all the time about how important it is to like the business side and find love in the business side of the music industry. If that's not the side you're originally coming into it for, you're more on the creative side. But I also, one of the things I haven't talked about a lot is some of the different paths you can take and how important some of them can be to your career. For example, I started working with a record label called God Knows, who I love. I love the guys. I believe in what they're doing. I'm working for them, doing some A&R stuff, doing some business stuff. Gonna start doing some production stuff for them soon as well, and doing a bunch of collaborative stuff with the podcast, whatever. I never thought I'd see myself doing the business side for anything that outside of my own projects. And what I've realized by doing this is how much you can learn by sitting down and learning that side of it more in depthly than you would as just being an artist. Getting to spend legitimate time analyzing different situations that other artists or musicians or producers have gone through, and getting to really study somebody else's work in a way that I don't think being an artist or being just a producer or whatever always lends time to. So I wanted to just kind of give like a little overview of different stuff that you could be doing on your way to becoming self-sufficient as a musician or an artist or producer or songwriter or whatever. There are so many different outlets. And you might find out that one of them becomes the love of your life and you can't leave it, and it's worth more than the artist thing to you. And there you go. Now you have a new career that's in the same world and can do the same thing for you as far as what you can get out of it. So on the creative side, there's, you can be an artist, you can be a band or in a band, you can be a songwriter, and you can be a producer. And it goes just beyond being a songwriter and being a producer. So when you're an artist or you're a band, you have the opportunity to get or to go for record deals. Everybody knows what a record deal is. It's signing to a label where they back you or help you out or push your music in some way, and then they get a portion of it. Super common. Everybody knows what those are. But there's other deals that you can get that can support your career. You can get something called a publishing deal, which will be on the writing or the producing side or whatever, something in that world. They might even be able to do it for engineers. I don't really know. But what a publishing deal is it's a company that you're signing with, a record label, a publishing company, a publishing label, or a publishing house, where they'll connect you with artists and other writers, and you'll go in and you'll get paid to write. They pay you up front, or they give you some sort of advance. You have money in your pocket. You can go write with all these artists and all these different producers and songwriters, and they'll put you in sessions, and then they get a portion of what you make on those songs as well. That's a publishing deal, and that's how you can build your discography as a writer, as a producer, as not being the main event, but getting to be a creative musician. So that's a really big way of how you can navigate this industry in a way that's not just being an artist. There's obviously also the business side. There is publishing, where you are on the business side of getting artists or bands and writers or producers connected. So that goes both ways. There is the record side, where you're, maybe on the PR side of a record label, where you're helping get the artist's name or the band's name or whatever it is, the producer's name, out there. Or the social media side, where you're doing the social media for these artists or for these bands or for these labels. Or there's so many different sides of this. You could go and try to be a manager in the music industry, and manage a producer, manage a artist, manage a band, manage a songwriter. All these different pieces come together, and for every job, there's another job that handles that job. And pretty much my point of this is be open-minded. Understand that there are so many different ways you can go about this industry, getting from point A to point B, and you have to be open-minded along the route, because being open-minded will get you into rooms that maybe you wouldn't be ready to get into as an artist, help you form connections that'll eventually get you to be a signed artist or a signed producer, or get you that pub deal or that record deal or whatever it is. I just think so many people have kind of a closed mind when it comes to these situations where they think the only thing they could do is the one job that they eventually want to be their main job. When really, if you want to get your names in rooms faster and into people's ears, go do as many different things as you can without spreading yourself too thin, and learn about different sides of the industry. You can't figure out how to get yourself a record deal or how to promote yourself as an indie artist. Go work at a label for a little bit. On that side, go be an intern, go do whatever you have to do, learn about it, and then use what you learn on yourself as your own marketing agent, as your own PR agent, as your own publishing agent, as your own manager, whatever the situation is. Be your biggest advocate. And that really comes by learning the stuff. I mean, if you really want a manager that bad, learn how to manage somebody else and then use that on yourself. You really want to get help on your publishing that bad, go learn PR from the best and then use it on yourself and get the inside tools. And this shit works. And, that's not why I'm in it. I'm in it because I realized that until I am in a place where my podcast and my production is lucrative enough to give me the life that I want and be able to keep funding this and my studio and all these different parts of my life that are so important, I would rather be in the industry learning how to better myself along the way. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm working with these guys at a label called God Knows, and they're some of the most incredible people I've ever met. They treat me so well. Every day I get to look for new artists and build plans for other artists and learn about different companies that can help push an artist and a podcast and all these different things. And their funding eventually going to be helping me get this podcast up and running a little bit more than it is right now and get it out to more people. And I'm learning about the marketing side. And all throughout my day, I'm surrounded by other creatives and getting to be in the studios. And it's just, you can't be so proud in this industry that you're not willing to take the necessary steps to get somewhere just because it doesn't look like what you want other people to see you as. And that's been tough for me because obviously I have this podcast. I work incredibly hard on it. I produce, and I was producing full time before COVID, and shit happened and the world changed and my life changed, and I have to make some different moves now in order to get where I want to go. But I'd rather be able to keep putting money in my pockets to throw right back at this podcast and have my chances of this getting found by more people higher than be sitting on my ass trying to save too much money trying to be living off so little that I can't fund this podcast. And that was just something that a sacrifice, I guess, that I had to make, which became something that is no longer a sacrifice. It's been one of the greatest experiences, and I just started and I love it. And I think it's going to be a huge push for my career. Whatever, I'm ranting as I always do, but I just want you guys to understand that if you want it that badly, you're willing to do everything and anything to get there, including other parts of the industry and watching other people doing great things and learning from them. And go get it. Go kick some ass. I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll keep updating you as I go. I'm going to introduce you to everybody on this new label that I'm with in due time. I love you guys. Thank you. And I'll see you next time.